there's enough trouble out there without you going to look for it.
You don't even know what this letter means.
It is from 6 months before I was born.
Are you sure you don't just like want this guy to be your dad? Or like everything's just gonna magically make sense?
Well, I have to find out.
Hello, I'm looking for Carl Hendricks. I'm Alex, Judith, kid.
How are you doing, sir? Good to speak to you.
Good. How are you, man?
I'm good, thanks. Congratulations on the movie. I watched it again yesterday. It's fantastic. I loved it to bits, man. Congratulations. It's great.
Thank you very much. I love doing it.
So, I mean, you said that you love doing it. It feels to me like it was one of your most uncomfortable roles so far. I was watching a few interviews that you'd done previously, and you came across, you gave kind of the impression that you weren't all that sure whether you wanted to do it at first. No, is that right?
Yeah. Listen, don't get me wrong. It's a fantastic script, and I read it like you watched it, where up until the end, it's this beautiful coming of age story where a daughter and father end up building this relationship that's a beautiful thing. But that ending had me conflicted, and I didn't know what to think. And then after sitting with that long enough, I thought that's the whole point. That's what the audiences need to take out of this. And we need to open the door for that conversation at the end. What do you think? Where does he go? Where did they go? Is there coming back from this? Is there not coming back from this? And everybody can have their own kind of opinion on what the next step would be. That's why that conversation at the end between Alex and Carl, my character, and Emma's character, is kind of it's kind of the point of the movie. It's like when we cut to black, and it's like, well, what next?
Yeah. No, that was a fantastic ending. I mean, you said that obviously that you wanted to kind of spark a conversation in the audience, but I imagine at the same time, talking of you feeling uncomfortable doing this film, they say that discomfort is a catalyst for growth and catharsis. No, so what did you actually get out of it yourself, diving into this project that you weren't too sure about at first?
Well, what I wasn't comfortable is, in my opinion, there is no coming back from that particular situation, and so I didn't think there was any redemption to this. But that might not be someone else's opinion. I don't know, and that's kind of what I was sitting with, and the fact that I sat with it for so long, and that I spoke to other people about it, my agents and whoever I kind of trusted, that I could talk to about it. And that's kind of what solidified the fact that I should do it, is because it has people talking. So.
Yeah. And something else, I mean, talking about another character in there, Emma's fantastic as well. She's a fantastic actress. In a way, it reminded me a little bit. I mean, her situation in the film is not the same, but it reminded me a little bit of the way that she's learning so many things that someone her age shouldn't be kind of had to be conflicted with, which I kind of imagined you 30 years ago when you were a small kid getting into the business, into the movie business. Was that something that kind of resonated on your mind when you were preparing for the film?
First of all, I'd like to say that this movie could have gone two different ways. We could have cast a different actress, and it wouldn't have been the way the film turned out. The way Emma plays this character, how grounded she is, how real she is, made the movie what it is. As far as she's a very mature young lady. I don't know what I would have been like back then. I don't know that it really had any, if it really resonated anything to do with my acting as a child. I don't know. I don't think that I don't know how I would have handled it at that age, that kind of situation.
Yeah. It also talks about, I mean, I don't want to give anything away. It's really difficult to talk about the film without giving anything away, because I don't want
It really
to.
is. I was up late last night thinking, how do I sell this film without giving it away? Like, how do I make these interviews exciting without giving the exciting bit away? You know what I mean? It's kind of like I did this movie Hunter x Hunter, where the ending is so damn important.
Fantastic movie as well, yeah.
But you can't say anything about it. Like, and also what happens to my character in the film. So it really is like, I had nothing to talk about, because I would be tipping anybody off. But yeah.
But yeah, no. So going back to the questions, the way that I wanted to ask you the question without giving it away is to kind of switch it onto you as your own as yourself, rather than the character. The film talks a lot about kind of wanting to be accepted again for something that's happened in the past, being accepted by society as a whole. Did you draw on anything from you having kind of, I mean, when you're about 25, you decided you were going to give up acting for a bit, and then you came back. I imagine when you came back, you were quite petrified about how fans and audiences were going to appreciate you a second time around, having kind of thrown in the towel.
It wasn't really the fans I was worried about, because it had all been kept under wrap. And the only reason anybody knows about the particular situation is because I decided that I wanted to speak about it. But I was deathly terrified because when I left, there was a lot of doors closed because of some of my behavior. You know, just getting to late or getting to work not looking, you know, fresh or whatever. It was more important at the end. Before I took my break, it was more important which parties I was going to in Hollywood and which clubs I was getting into and yada, 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 than it was the quality of work I was doing. And so, you know, skipping out on auditions or meetings, or I did a table read with another actor where I was just hungover. I must have smelled like liquor, and it was a big thing. It was all these producers, and they just wanted to see what it sounded like. And he showed up, and he looked great. He was fresh, and you know what I mean. And I was just like, so what I was petrified of when I finally did come back. First of all, I got back. It was all an accident. I didn't think I was ever coming back to Hollywood, but I was petrified that those doors wouldn't open again. That I wouldn't be accepted back. And I wasn't in a lot of ways. There's still a couple of casting directors that won't see me because I skipped out on the audition or showed up late with my lines not learned or whatever it is. But you know, I've accepted that, and I am where I am today. I have a beautiful wife and children, and I'm doing great projects again. And I needed to go through that, I guess, to get where I am today. I wish I hadn't. Yeah, it was petrifying at when I came back. I remember my agents and managers just being annoyed with how, like, oh my God, they're not going to want to see me. Oh my God, I'm so scared. Like, you know, and it just got better. It just got better.
But I mean, I imagine that must obviously been horrible to go through. But at the same time, filming this film must have really kind of dredged all the back up. I imagine all those emotions, and really kind of helped to feed into this project, and maybe even kind of show people a little bit of what you have been through, not at the same time, no? Even though it's a very different case of your character in there.
It felt a little the way what Carl was doing, living with his cousin, you know, going to church and meetings and doing the mechanic thing. That's kind of what I was doing. I mean, you know, minus the church bit, but I was kind of just, I was running from Hollywood. I found another way. I was living. I was happy, I guess. But I wasn't confronting the issue, and I wasn't going back to what I really loved. And now I am. I'm there. I've dealt with it, and I've moved on, and I've kind of, you know. So there was a little of that, yeah. That said, what Carl did, that's what made it so conflicting to me, because I don't think there's any coming back from that, what he did. And that's the door we're going to open, and that's the conversations we're going to start is what do people think?
I mean, you mentioned that obviously it touches on religion as well, and it doesn't kind of, it's not preachy in any way, but it touches on religion, how that could, a little bit, finding God can help you kind of find your own redemption, maybe redemption society. I'm curious, how did you speak with the director, with Ben Epstein, about that a little bit, kind of to how to approach that side of things?
I understand why people. I didn't really speak to Ben about that, about the religious part of it. That's where the whole acting thing is. I understand why people love God. I love that whatever gets you through, as long as you're not it's not getting in the way of my life and making my life something dangerous or whatever, then I'm happy. Whatever makes you smile, if you're going to church and that makes you happy and you're smiling, that makes me happy too. And so that's my kind of opinion on religion. And I think that's what Carl's going to. He's found religion, and it makes him feel a little bit better, and you know, and that's good. That's good for him.
So just to finish off, then, obviously something that's making you feel good right now is that you got back into acting full throttle. You've got so many things on the go. I mean, you've been in the Chucky franchise the last couple of seasons.
Yeah.
What's next for you? Are you gonna do you want to go more in the same vein of kind of who are you people, or you wanted to kind of discover different things now?
I've been very clear with my agents that I would like to do a Hunter or a You Are These People, Who Are You People, sorry. Every once in a while, I want to make sure that I'm still doing these films that are with other artists that are all driven by the art of it. I would like to go do Chucky, some more Chucky again. We'll see what happens
Yeah,
there.
and on that, is there another? Will there be another character for you? I imagine you've spoken. I mean,
I've
you managed
spoken
to
to
get
Don,
two twins in
and
a.
Don is he's a tough cookie. We are trying to make that work out. I love going to work on Chucky. It's my favorite thing right now. It's nostalgic and fun, and you know, you work with these absolute wonderful people like Don and Jennifer and Fiona and all these people, and so I'm hoping to do that. And there's a little indie. That's not a little indie. It's a horror film, but a smart one, much like a Blumhouse kind of ghosty Flanagan kind of thing that I'm gonna be doing. And yeah. So
is that Fallout? Is that Fallout? You're talking about a different
no,
one?
Fallout is a movie I just finished in Jersey with Tyrese Gibson and Kate Bosworth, and that's more of a psychological thriller. It was a lot of fun. It was tough. They thought because it all takes place in a bunker where there's been a chemical leak, and now we're going to this bunker because of the chemical leak, but the air is starting to run out in there. And to save air, we've now got to decide who's going to go. And my wife is pregnant, so I'm plotting against all. It's
kind of a hot air balloon. Who goes out next? No, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like who do we get rid of to save air, kind of thing. And it was fun, but they thought we should shoot this in 12 days because we didn't have to change locations. There was no, we don't have to move trucks or do this. It was all one location. Not all the camera moves. Light it once this way. So it was. The only problem is that's great for the crew and that's great for the producers and great to save money. But now the cast has got to do like 15 pages of dialogue every day, and it's all in one room and it's all dialogue. So it was a tough haul. It's a tough haul.
No, it sounds fun though. Listen, I'm going to leave you to it. Thank you so much for your time, Dan. I wish you the best luck with this film. I'm sure it's going to go on really well, and I hope to speak to you again sometime soon.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate your time.
All right, take care of yourself. Have a good day.
I'm gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be fine.